if you had to give just a few practical tips for someone who was going to actually use their cell phone and take pictures because they're not quite ready or they just need that steady stream we've talked about, right? What would you tell them?
I would say, number one, find a dedicated space so that your staff knows, everybody knows this is the best possible lighting situation for all of our dishes. This is, where we're going to do this work and show off these pieces in the best possible scenario. Number two is find a great light source. Hopefully that dedicated space is next to the great light source and you don't have to lug in a light every single day. A great light source ideally is just a big window, a big natural light source where you've got beautiful, light, clean white light pouring in from the side, not a skylight. We don't want overhead light. We want something coming from the side to give some dimension to your food. And number three is make sure that you get multiple angles of your food. Don't just do the overhead shot where you see on Yelp or on Google reviews, people taking a picture of their plate. We want to up level that a little bit, capture your food at different angles. And then also you want to make sure that you are being mindful of the background. Wherever your dedicated space is, make sure that there's not a dirty rag in the background, a leaning mop, or an old mail, things like that.
Right.
Make sure that it's clean. You don't have distracting items back there because the food is the hero of this shot. The food is the hero here. We want to portray them on sort of a mountaintop moment here. My last piece of advice I would say is to use a tripod. So that way you can have consistent angles. You don't have to worry about your hands shaking, especially if you're using multiple people to do this same job. You want to create a standard operating process so that the food pictures come out consistent, they look good, and everybody knows how to take them.
That's great advice, especially that last part, because, I think a lot of times too, restaurateurs don't take as much collateral or content because they think they have to do it. You don't have to do it. There's a lot of people who work with you who could take really good pictures, but you also don't want to have one picture look completely different than the next. And, they need to know these sort of best practices and execute them every time. So, your end result ends up being great content consistently. So that's great. Great advice. Good job, Erica.
Thank you.
Do you want to learn more about restaurant growth strategies? Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Setting the Table. Here we'll talk about restaurant marketing and business strategies to help you grow your restaurant.